So for some of you, you might be still doing this, but for me, it was in the past when you created a master road use agreement and addendum, you went in and used Microsoft Word. And you would type in something like the grantee company name, and you would copy, you would replace, you would paste, you would merge in order to create the documents required. And then you went to your land system and typed in similar data to be captured there. And then along came Pandell, who created a software program written specifically for road use. And this is unique because a lot of the land software companies, they had a land or a road use module, but it really wasn't effective. You had to do the Microsoft Word document, you had to type it in again, and you didn't have a lot of reporting features. The way Pandell software, it's very user-friendly. You put the data in once, and it populates throughout the document. It'll create the invoices, letters, and reports. This reduces redundancies and human error, which is important when you're creating a legal document, because that's what you're creating, is a legal document between two parties, covering off specific conditions, liability. And if you don't have your I's dotted and your T's crossed, if something goes wrong and there's an accident on the road, your company is in the hot seat, and that document better be perfect. The way the program works is that certain fields can be picked from the database. Say again, the grantee company name. That'll pull the grantee's address and maybe any special rates that you've set up. Again, maybe they've charged you too much in the past and you want to reciprocate that. You set it up at the company level. Another field you can pick is the roads. You start typing, it'll pop up, it'll try and find the road you're putting in. Eventually it'll come up and you pick it. And that road might have special rates for initial or maintenance. That road might also have special conditions, such as gates or radio frequencies if it's in northern Alberta or northern BC. You don't need to remember all this. And if you're working for a big company, to remember that ABC Oil and Gas gets special rates, it'll pull it all when you go to create your document. From start to finish, using Pandell Roads, it literally will take you minutes. You enter the data and you click buttons to create your document. Because Pandell Roads is so user-friendly, it makes training new employees easy. Training new employees is very time-consuming. So if you've got a software program that's user-friendly and intuitive, it makes it so much easier. Pandell Roads will download current well statuses released from the AER for initial invoices and maintenance and any back billing. And because current well statuses are being used, your invoices are accurate. This reduces redundancies and this minimizes disputes. Disputes are a huge pain in the ass. First, you have to validate that the dispute is right. Then you've got to figure out what went wrong. And then you contact your accounting department to maybe do a partial or full credit. These invoices are created and easily uploaded into your current accounting system. Pandell has been around long enough that they've created the system bridges between Pandell Roads and all major accounting programs. These bridges are secure and all data is safe and protected. And you can invoice as per your company's policies, whether it's monthly or quarterly. And I don't think anybody does yearly anymore, but in the old days, it was yearly. On the reporting side, you have the flexibility to search and report all aspects of data you've entered. I use this reporting feature extensively. For example, number of agreements issued, total value of initial invoices and maintenance, and I do it for, say, monthly, quarterly, and yearly. When you go to do your performance review and you have to fill out that box that says, what have you accomplished this year, you can actually put solid numbers. Management loves that. Also, something I used a lot was who is using a particular road. This is perfect for road bans. Maybe the field phones you and tells you there's a washout and you've got to figure out who's using the road. Maybe that road isn't passable for days, weeks, possibly months if there's bridges involved. And what happens if there's damage on the road? It's a starting point to figure out who's done the damage. And I often got questions from the field as to what was being built on a particular road. But maybe you need to look at if it's a high-grade road with lots of users and it's costing you a ton of money to keep that road maintained, you might want to do an analysis as to what you're collecting and what it's costing you. Another feature I use a lot in Pandell Roads is searching to see if a well has road use. This is particularly helpful in an asset sale. Your company buys a bunch of assets, includes the roads. The road use lands on your desk from the previous company. You're going through and you see road use is issued for a well over here, but what about this well that's right here? And I can see that they're using our roads. You can do it by a surface location or a UE. But what I usually do is I put in a partial surface location or a partial UE because I want to see everything that's there. If there's no road use issued, well, there's your opportunity to capture something that's been missed, create a road use agreement, date it for your effective your sale date, and when you go to run your invoices, it'll do all the back invoicing up until the date you're invoicing. One of my bigger projects that I did, I was invited over to Harvest to come work for them. They had not done their road use for 3 years. They'd barely even issued anything, let alone invoiced anything. So I came over to Harvest, and Harvest arranged to have Pandell Roads as part of their programs. And I think, let's see, Dean, we did, within 6 months we were invoicing, but it took us probably another 3 months after that to get everything in the system. And I'm going to hand it over to you because you have the statistics for that.
Some of the challenges we were having was I was managing the IT group, so we were always presented with the opportunity of, you guys got to go find some low-hanging fruit, and road use was one of them. And when the VP came and said, we haven't built out our road use for 3 years. So anyways, we went out and our current land system couldn't backbill. And so as much as we tried to use it, it just wouldn't work. And so that's when we brought in Pandell and realized that, hey, we can do this. And Barb came in, which was phenomenal because we had the right person. But overall, from the cost that we paid for the system to what we got out of it, we recouped 40 times what the system costs. So it was a definite value add project. And Harvest liked it.
How was roads management valued within your organization? Did anything change?
So I really struggled with this to show value that I brought to the table until I started using Pandell Roads. When I realized I was able to pull reports at a click of a button that gave me accurate data, I knew that I was onto something. At Surface Land Department, they would have Surface Land Department meetings, Surface Land Administrative meetings, but there was nothing specific for road use. So what I did is I went to my manager and I said, I want a monthly meeting for road use. It was just myself, and it was either him or her, depending which company I was with. But I wanted to be able to express some of the issues and concerns for road use. But I also saw it as an opportunity to put a piece of paper in front of them to show them what I was doing, number of agreements, total value of initial invoices I had issued, and maintenance. And I did it for the month, and then quarterly and yearly, cumulative. Management loves to see numbers in front of them. And it showed that I was capturing money for the company. That was a game changer. And from that moment on, I raised the view of what road use was and the surface land, because I was able to show hard numbers. And Pandell's seamless and instant reporting provided solid, accurate data that was of interest to the field, to area managers, land management teams. My manager was then taking it to his managers' meetings. And all of a sudden, I was being recognized for what I was doing. I worked for one of the big companies, ConocoPhillips, and pretty soon I had VPs in my office asking, "What do you do? How do you generate this?" And I'm like, who are you? I could not have done this without Pandell Roads, without that easy reporting.